Right, okay everyone. Yeah, as I mentioned in the previous video, trying to get my air conditioning working on my Fairlane. Now, right, there's a little bit of a story with this. This was probably 2 years ago. Yeah, I've missed 2 summers, yeah. But 2 summers I've not had air conditioning. What I did, I took it in, got it gassed up, because it's all disconnected. Like, you know, this is a swap over. This is a V8 conversion out of another Fairlane into this body, so everything got swapped over, everything got disconnected. Anyway, and I took it in, got it gassed up, and it leaked out of the connection here. This is a valve of some kind. There is a correct name for it that I don't know. I can't think of it at the moment anyway. So it was leaking out of this connection, and as I said, the air conditioning worked great for a day, and then all the gas leaked out, and yeah, and that was the end of it. Anyway, I've taken it back in, they put new seals in it, tested it, pressure tested the whole thing, they gassed it up, and then it still wouldn't work. Like, this was the afternoon of their shutting down for the Christmas period, so yeah, they weren't going to go any further. They actually gave me, you know, a fair portion of my money back, because I'd already paid for it. I knew, because they thought it was going to work, and I thought it was going to work, and we paid it all up, and then discovered it hadn't. So anyway, right, so yeah, it's all been pressure tested, it's gassed up, it still won't work. Now, this is not your standard air conditioning. This is the, you know, Fairlane LTD style of the 90s, which is like a complete automatic climate control. And so what happens is, when you got it running and you got your temperature right down to low, it turns the air conditioning on all by itself. You can't switch it off. That's what this economy switch is. That's to switch the air conditioning off. But as I said, it doesn't necessarily switch it on without, you know, everything else being activated. And there's a whole lot of sensors and things. I'll show you in the book in a little while. I'll show you the the wiring diagram for it. But anyway, there's like, apart from the engine management, which is also connected to it, you've got a whole climate control computer, and you've got another computer sort of thing within this, a smaller one, and then you've got another one in your instrument cluster. So there's like 4 different computer systems that run the air conditioning, and so any one of them could be an issue, and any one of them could be, you know, hard to get hold of and expensive as well, and that'd involve pulling the entire dash out and everything to put them in, and yeah, I'm not about to go to all that hassle. Right, so anyway, so what I did, because I said I knew it did actually work previously, so the first thing I want to know was that the compressor hadn't failed. That was, yeah, because this is your compressor down the bottom. That's your fuel pump down the bottom there. Trying to get, yeah, is your air conditioning compressor. Now, if you've got to replace that, yeah, you can be anywhere from $200 to $1,000 just to buy the unit. So that doesn't include fitting. Right? So, I mean, I'd fit it myself anyway, but if I did have to do that, but yeah, that's just more than I can afford right at the moment. So that was my main concern, is that the compressor was okay. So there's a way to test that. Okay, it's just got this single wire, this single blue wire coming out. And what I'm holding is a green wire, because I've plugged it into the connection there. You can see the connection there. So I've just plugged the wire in the connection, disconnected the other wire, that's the one it runs off. Okay. Now you'll hear it click, and I'll show you anyway. Right, so just going to hook this, just peel this back for a moment. Right. I've already done this, but I'll just show you. So, if you look down here, the sun on the screen, I can't sort of see where I'm focusing the camera. Come on, get out of the way. Hopefully you can see down the bottom. Now, you hear it anyway. And hopefully you can see that. You can see it. Pull the clutch in. Right. So I know the clutch is working. Now I also, which I'm not going to do now, but I followed the motor up, turned my temperature down to the lowest setting, and then fully connected it. And you'll also, when the engine's running, so this end part, this end piece here, get your hand on it. Right. This end piece, when the air conditioner's not running, that stays still. The belt part behind it will be spinning and this part will be still. And so when you hook power to it, that pulls in and it spins. Right, so, but yeah, so I did that. Yeah, had it running, and yeah, within only a minute or so, and I had nice cold air coming out the vents, so that's fine. I knew it was all working. However, your air conditioner's got safeguards, and they're mostly to protect your compressor. It's got, and there's three things that are really important. One is the engine temperature, because you got heat passing out of here, and it can overheat your engine. And so it has a safeguard, which is to protect your engine basically, which shuts your air conditioner off if your engine gets too hot. So that's one of them. And yeah, I've got to pull it. This is starting to get too warm, so I'm thinking more than likely it's an airflow problem. I mean, look at this. Yeah, look at the air conditioning unit. Yeah, I'm going to get in there and straighten all these fins out. This is stick damage. Yeah. I'm going to have to do something. I'm going to have to put something strong, because I go bush all the time. That's where the issue is. So I'm going to have to put something in here to stop sticks coming through. Something pretty solid. I'm going to fit a winch in here eventually. But yeah, so I've got to stop the sticks coming in here and damaging that. And in the meantime, I've got to open all these up and straighten all these fins out so we get proper airflow. Pressure wash it. I'll take the actual radiator out, drain it, reverse flush it, and then I'll pressure wash the entire thing. Make sure we got proper airflow. I would think that's all the issue is with that. Right, so that's one safeguard. The two main safeguards is you've got a high and low pressure, and if your pressure gets too low, then it's not, there's a little bit of oil in there which lubricates your pump. If the pressure gets too low, it doesn't lubricate it properly, and that can ruin your compressor. So that's one that you have to have in place. And the other's a high pressure, that'll cause your compressor to overheat. You can also blow your lines apart if you get too much pressure in them. So you have to have that high and low pressure switch in the system as a safeguard. So there's three things you need basically as a safeguard. Two, you can get away with that because you got a temperature gauge. If your temperature gets too hot, you shut it off anyway. That's just having a bit of common sense really, so you don't, you can get around that. But that's like a dummy feature for people who don't know anything about engines. Right, and this, according to the diagram, right, there's the later models of these and the earlier ones are a little bit different. Now, I think I might actually have both systems, because this car itself was the earlier one. This is a 91. The engine and the power steering compressor and everything is out of a 92. So I think I've got both systems in there. But when you look down here, it's not real easy to see, but the wire, your power wire for your compressor doesn't run straight into the compressor. It comes down, separates, so there's there's a junction of wires down there. And so it looks as though there's a high and low pressure switch on the compressor itself. So, yeah, that sort of tells me it's pretty much safe to just run power straight to it. And, yeah, not have to run the whole climate control system. However, there's also a pressure switch on here. Pull this out of the way a little bit so hopefully you can see it. There's a pressure switch there as well. And probably because, when I was doing the engine conversion, I didn't want to take all the heater and everything out. And so the actual air conditioning unit and the heater box and everything that's in here is the 91 6-cylinder one. So that's possibly like the pressure switch in there is the old system, and we got a pressure switch in here which is a new system. So looks like we've got both systems running. So yeah, what I'm getting to is that I've still got a few things to test yet. I'd like to run it the way it's supposed to off the climate control system, but if I can't, I'm not going to go pulling the whole thing apart and trying to replace units and things that activate it. So there's two more things I need to look for. One is I found there's a relay for the entire climate control system under the dash, but that comes on with your accessories and with your ignition, so like you can hear it clicking. So that's not the actual air conditioning compressor relay. That's for the entire system. So there is another relay here somewhere. It's in the book, it just says WAC relay. So that's the next thing I want to check. So it's not one of the ones under the dash. So there's 4 of them here. These are my light relays, 2 of them. I don't know what the other 2 are offhand. And there's another set of relays. There's another 4 relays under there, underneath the water thing. So it could be any one of those 8 relays. And I'm going to have to go and look up the wire colours, and yeah, that'll tell me which relay is, so I can check that. And that's probably the most likely reason it's not coming on, is the relay's blown. I've already had to replace quite a few of these relays for various things, so that's the next thing I check. The other thing too, this is, not sure which, this is a sensor of some kind. It's probably an airflow or something, although it shouldn't stop it. Oh yeah, it would stop it because the fan would be going if the engine's running, so yeah, that could be shutting it off. See, I've actually sprayed primer on that. I may have stuffed that up. I think I've got a spare one. I don't know whether the signal is just a full continuation of power running through it, or it could be that when it does let power through it switches it off, or it could be that when the power's running through it, it switches it on. I don't know which. But anyway, I should have a spare of these. So I'm going to go look for my parts. And if I find a spare, I'll swap that over and then I'll test it again, see if it works. As I said, I'll look for the relay. And if I can't get it working with either of them, well, then I've got to go and hook it up differently. And so I did actually test that one. Right, this is just a continuality switch. The current will run through it unless it's activated. When it's activated, it shuts the current off. So the easy way to test this is to just pull the wires off, jump them two together with, you just get a plug with, 2 blades and 1 blade at each end of the wire, and you plug them in. And I've done that, didn't make any difference, so that there is not the problem. So yeah, that's not the problem. And yeah, obviously the compressor's not the problem. So yeah, I got 2 more things to check, that and the relay. Now if both of those, if I swap it over, the relay's fine or the relay's not, and I swap it over and it still doesn't work, well, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a separate wire. I'm going to run it from the ignition switch, or not the switch itself, but I'll find a terminal on the fuse box that's activated by the ignition, and I'll run a power from there. I'll bring it out just as a safeguard. I'll run it through this other pressure switch, and then back to the compressor, and it'll have a switch on the dash. So just be a push button. And yeah, I've got a switch in here that doesn't work anyway. I'll try to get it working. It doesn't really bother me. I don't listen to the radio anyway, but yeah, like I don't want to be drilling holes in my dash or anything. Well, having said that, yeah, I got a facility here already. Okay, I was thinking I was going to pull that out and find a switch that'll fit in there, but I've got a spare facility, so yeah, if I do run a new power to it, I'll just be putting a switch in this little hole here, and it'll, hopefully I can find a switch that looks something like the others, just for neatness. And yeah, anyway, so that's where I'm up to. 2 more things to check, and hopefully get it running the way it's supposed to. And if I can't, then I'm going to wire it to run separately, run by itself, and not off the climate control. And yeah, as I said, it's summer, it's getting hot out here. If I was driving around right now, I'd be wanting it. I'm sweating just sitting in here. I've got the windows down. So yeah, I really want to get it working now. But yeah, so that's my 2 options. And yeah, it's actually, I'm at Tasmania. I'm getting used to the cold now. So, I mean, it's not that hot. It's probably 27, 28. Could be getting up towards 30. That's hot in Tassie, because you're used to, like your average in Tassie is 15, 17 degrees, so like Celsius. That's a lot different to Fahrenheit, but yeah, that's what you get used to. And like if you're up on the mainland or up in the tropics, you'd have a coat on for 15 to 17 degrees, but down here that's normal. That's what you get used to. So when it does get up to 30, it seems, it feels really, really hot. And as I said, it's just a matter of what you got climatised to. But yeah, the point I'm making is, yeah, it's getting a bit warm now to be out here to fiddle farting around, so I'm going to go back to doing my bug trailer, and yeah, probably 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon I'll come out here and see what I can do. But yeah, either way, by the end of the day I'm going to have the system running, because I've got to go out tomorrow and I want it working. Alright, well, thanks for listening to me ramble, and yeah, hope it's helpful to somebody. Okay, thanks for watching, and hit a like. Bye.